We specifically formed the group of speakers from different line of services and specializing in relevant areas like ESG, international taxation, automatization matters, to ensure that the messages that we deliver will be interesting for you and to the point and to the big relevance.
So the purpose of this slide, as we originally devised it, was actually just to give some context to today's discussion. And it's actually a number of key economic indicators which we compiled at the end of last year. So PwC Eurasia does a quarterly economic bulletin, consulting, I think it's 11 experts, just sort of looking at what the key statistics are for the Kazakh economy. And I was going to talk those through with you this morning, just to give the context. As you can see, looking at items 1 to 5, more or less everything has been superseded by events, whether they were the Kazakhstan political events in January, or the even more recent developments in the Ukraine. We know the oil price is over $100 a barrel. The exchange rate has dropped very dramatically over the last week, at one point in time going out to over 500. So basically, we put a red line through the slide. It doesn't really work.
So many companies actually employ ESG reporting, but it might not be complete always, and results are mostly unaudited and not comparable among the companies. So ESG ratings are aimed at improving the quality of ESG measurements, and they're used by individual investors and fund managers to guide investment strategies and to understand how sustainable the business is. And the ESG ratings, they are based on different criteria, and they fully assess the company's performance in ESG.
Lack of ESG data actually one of the main issues for sustainable development globally. Investors, regulators, and other stakeholders cannot make a proper decision without good quality of statistics on ESG indicators. That's why reporting today attracts a lot of attention. And last year we have seen many big news in this field. And I wanted to share with you 3 main trends that we can see today.
You know what's going all around the world around the ESG, yeah? You know what's happening in Kazakhstan. You mentioned some of the points. What is your view, your opinion? Does Kazakhstan as a country wants to be the front runner of the ESG implementation and development, or we would rather see what the world is doing and implement it with certain delay?
I think Kazakhstan is already doing enough in terms of stepping in this ESG world, and many of our companies are actually considering getting ESG ratings, and they're starting writing their annual ESG reports. So I think that's the beginning of their ESG journey in Kazakhstan.
And these dashboards is related to the trucks analysis, but it can be also for the sensor analysis. And here the trucks analysis, there are this dashboard is built on Tableau. And here you can see many important KPIs and the list of the trucks. And this dashboard is fully interactive. You click to some metrics and you see the detailed information.
Typically, we receive requests to generate tax returns in one click, like you see on the screen, so that user could select the input files, press OK, press Finish, wait few seconds, and generate the tax return, as you see in the Excel, and related tax registers.
Almost 100 countries are already participants of the MLI. There are additional countries who would like to sign an MLI in the future. And Kazakhstan, as a participant of the MLI, would like to apply the MLI provisions on the double tax treaties concluded by Kazakhstan with other countries. BEPS 2.0 speaks about two pillars, and Pillar 1 will help to allocate rights to market jurisdiction to tax portion of income, and Pillar 2 will combat cases when profits is shifted to offshore jurisdiction.
Maybe before we go to the disputes on usual disputes as a result of tax inspections, I would like to know that we observed that last 2 years we have seen many litigations on desktop or so-called cameral control notifications, and if you follow certain steps, you can easily win a case at court, because the courts, the Supreme Court, already established certain rules how to do so. And they usually support taxpayers, but of course you need to follow specific steps. And for the last year only, we have above 15 cases when we supported our clients successfully. We are part of the global community, and we probably should look what happens in the world about transfer pricing. And the significant change which happened in January was that OECD, or Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, released a new paper which is called Transfer Pricing Guidelines for Multinational Enterprises and Tax Administrations. It's a sort of Bible in the area of transfer pricing. So we have new Bible, and we should read it through and digest it, because obviously it will have impact to us, and our tax people, tax administration will follow it and will implement certain aspects to our legislation quite soon.
We'll definitely see the trend of transparency continue to increase. I think that really links a couple of the topics we've had today, the ESG, picking up the governance. We're moving to an increasingly tax transparent world. I think that ties in with what Aliyah was saying. So I think everyone should be working on the basis that there is full transparency on tax affairs. And therefore it's a matter really of assessing where are your sort of vulnerabilities and preparing, approaches, papers, transfer pricing documentation to explain where your weaknesses lie. And maybe my last comment would be to say, sometimes I have a sense of optimism that things may sort of change for the better.